or like how much your choice? I mean, there are obviously the established guys that are often used in the shootout, but
lots of different philosophies going into shoots. I ask the coaches before every game, in particular Billy, once we know who the goalie is, who would not shoot out but breakaways, tendencies, things like that, or if somebody do right-handers score more on them, do left-handers score more on them, things like that. So we just try and then from my standpoint, you're looking at past performance, the game itself, guys that are, you try and see that sometimes. We can go from there. It's pretty much shootouts are a crapshoot.
Has Drew continued to lobby you to get included?
I mean, Drew's history has. I don't know if I've seen him in one since I've been here, but I think his numbers were that he hadn't had much success in shootouts.
I saw him.
Braden's game from maybe the first 10 to versus the last 10 or so.
I think there's with all that's went on with our back end, it's allowed Braden to play, and that's been really good for him, and it's been really good for us, not just now, but I think in the big picture of it. Almost the very same as talking about Marty signing. That big picture part. It's the same with Braden. Braden's our youngest defenseman, and he was looked on coming in as the guy that we wanted to sort of integrate into our team. And that's what we've been able to do.
To go along with Rich's question, what's he doing better now as opposed to early in the season?
He's 22 years old. What you do is you try and learn the league. It's not just automatically playing in the league, and then the expectations and demands that his teammates would put on him. That would be he's 22. He's the youngest defenseman on our team, and there's lots of growth there, and he works at it, and he's coachable, and he understands the game, so he's only going to get better.
The idea of having two goalies who can play, is that kind of emphasized more in today's game than it was
in conference? I think if you look at if you did the numbers right now, you'd have to check. It's still a heavy number one guy. If you look at it on the best teams, as long as there's not injury or into teams that are in it have, I think we have, what is it, nine back-to-backs, and that's the fewest in the league this year, so there's probably teams that are into that 15, 16, you'd have to check, but that affects it also. But still, best teams are still, at the end of the day, are still primarily a number one guy, and then somebody else you can really count on. And I think that Marty showed us last year that we can play him a lot if we have to. But at the same time, you have to be able to. Jonathan never struggles with quantity, ever. So you're guarding more against, not guarding, but trying to keep him fresh too, without giving him too much time off. So but it's about wins. Clear. Not playing somebody that can't win games. If you can't win games, then one guy's going to play them all. It's not. That is the rule of thumb with the best organizations.
I'll ask you about Cliffy in the training camp, and in addition to the role that he plays, I think he said at the time, I don't mean to paraphrase, but it was that points were also important for Cliffy, for him to build on that. And he's right now on pace for like 19 points. Is his play all around at the level that you want to see it? Are you happy with the production too, in addition to the role that he
I
plays?
think he's done a really good job for us so far. He fills an important role in our team in terms of the energy and the physical part of it, and the checking part of it, and the getting ready to play every game part of it. I think you can always know that that's his spot, and as he gets, hopefully the growth continues where it becomes the next part of it, where he elevates that role. It's really similar when you're talking about Braden, to be quite honest. It's really similar.
What are some of those things that you're looking for young guys like Braden to learn about the league?
I think the biggest part that they learn is the preparation in terms of game days. Doing their due diligence in terms of knowing who your opponent is and who you're going to be up against, and if you play if you're playing different minutes, or you're with Braden even now is learning. We've been primarily a penalty killing defense of veteran defensemen, and trying to push guys into it and learning about it. Being Drew, Marty, Muzz, pushing those guys at Slava, getting those guys, and now we've done that with Brady, and so it's those it's the role part of it, and understanding what kind of player you are, and how we want him to play.